Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, we will be studying continuation part of CET on the lesson Plant Kingdom. Yes, let us move to the next question of this chapter. The plant body of moss is. So here they have taken the example of funaria. So what kind of plant body we can see in bryophytes like mosses? So the main plant body here is a gametophytic plant because it is photosynthetic in nature and it is meant for the formation of gametes. That means Antheridia and Archegonia will be producers, and in the gametophytic stage, when the gamete will be produced, they fuses together and form a diploid plant body that is called as sporophytic plant. So here you have to concentrate mainly on which is the predominant phase. So the predominant phase is gametophytic plant body because the main plant itself is a gametophyte, and sporophytic plant is depends on the gametophytic plant for nutrition and for the formation of spores. So let us look into the option. Option A, completely sporophyte. So this is not correct because the main plant body we have seen in the bryophyte, that is gametophytic in nature. Then let us move to the option B, completely gametophyte. Not completely gametophyte, right? Because some of the phase is gametophyte and remaining phase of the plant is sporophytic. No, we can't say that complete phase of the plant is gametophytic phase. So this is not a correct one. Then option C, predominantly sporophyte with gametophyte. So this is also wrong one because the predominant phase in the funaria is not a sporophyte. Clear? Then option D, predominantly gametophyte with sporophyte. This is the correct one because the predominant phase in the mosses is gametophytic plant because the main plant body itself is a gametophytic plant. Then sporophytic plant is depends on it. So this is the correct one. So the right option is option D, that is predominantly gametophyte with sporophyte. Then our 14th question is, mosses and ferns are found in moist and shady places because both. So in this question, they have given two different kinds of plants. One is mosses, they are belonging to bryophytes, and another one is ferns. Ferns are belonging to pteridophytes. So why these two different kinds of plants, they grow in moist and shady places? What is the reason? So if you come to the mosses, they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom because they will complete their life cycle, that means the sexual reproduction, only in the presence of water. So without water, fertilization does not occur in bryophytes. Then if you come to the ferns, ferns also require water for fertilization. So in this character, that means in the fertilization, if you compare the mosses and ferns, both are exhibiting the same property. Clear, right? So let us look into the option. Option A, cannot compete with sun-loving plants. So this is not the reason. Then option B, do not need sunlight for photosynthesis. So every plant, that means every green plants, they require sunlight for photosynthesis. So this is not the answer. Then option C, require the presence of water for fertilization. So this is the correct, right? Because of this reason, both plants, they need moist and shady places. Then option D, depends for their nutrition upon microorganisms. So among the four options, the correct one is C. Then the 15th question is, mosses do not have true leaves because their leaf-like structure lack. So in this question they are asking why mosses leaf is not considered as true leaves. So what is the characteristic feature of true leaves then? So true leaf will be having certain characteristic feature. So let us start listing the characters of leaves. One is leaf is green in color because it consists of chlorophyll pigment so that it can prepare its own food material. Then the chloroplast is performing one more function, that is it can store the food in the form of starch. Then one more very important function we can see in the leaf is it will be having vascular tissue. So because of these tissues, it can circulate its required thing through it. So without vascular tissue, the higher plants cannot be able to circulate the things prepared in the leaf. Clear? So the food synthesized will be circulate through the phloem tissue, and whatever the water and minerals required, that will be circulate through xylem. So in the mosses like bryophytes, you can see vascular tissues are absent. So not only they are absent in leaves and stem, they are also absent in roots also. Clear, right? So the entire plant of the bryophyte does not consist of vascular tissue. So because of this reason, the leaf what is there in the bryophyte does not considered as true leaves. So instead of that, it is showing all other characteristic feature. That means it is having chlorophyll pigment, it can prepare its own food material, it can also store the food in the form of starch. So all these properties are there except the presence of vascular tissues. Clear, right? So let us look into the option. Option A, starch in their chloroplast. Option B, vascular tissues. Option C, chlorophyll. Option D, cellulose in their cell wall. So among the four, this thing what they have given characteristic feature, vascular tissues are not present here. So this is the answer for this question. So because of the absence of vascular tissues, we are not considering the leaves as true leaves. Then the 16th question is Antheridium and Archegonium are present in. So what is mean by Antheridium and Archegonium? Antheridium is a male sex organ in some kind of plant and Archegonium is a female sex organ. So in which group of plants we can see the Antheridium and Archegonium? So usually the bryophytes are showing the presence of these two structures. So Antheridium will produces the male gamete, Archegonium will be produces female gamete. So let us look into the option. Option A, Spirogyra. So Spirogyra is a green alga. So in alga, we could not see the presence of Antheridium and Archegonium as a sex organ. Then option B, Mucor. So Mucor is a kind of fungi. So fungi, they will produces different kinds of spores during the sexual reproduction. You can see the formation of ascospores in some group of fungi, and some they will form basidiospores. They does not show the presence of Antheridium and Archegonium. Then option C, Funaria. So Funaria is a kind of bryophytes. So it will comes under the group mosses. Clear. So in the Funaria, Antheridium is a male sex organ, Archegonium is a female sex organ. Clear. And option B, bacteria. So bacteria does not show Antheridium and Archegonium. So the correct option is option C, Funaria. The next question is, which of the following is the correct statement? So option A, no diploid structure is found in mature sporogonium of Rixia. So what is the meaning of sporogonium? So sporogonium is a sporophytic structure we can see in the Rixia like bryophytes. So sporophyte is a diploid phase what we can see in bryophyte, but in the mature sporogonium, the mother cells, that means the spore mother cells already divided to form spores. So that in the mature sporogonium, there is no diploid structure. So in immature, that means in the immature sporogonium, we can see the diploid spore mother cells, but when they divide and they form spores, that will be considered as a mature sporogonium. So mature sporogonium does not consist of diploid structures, only haploid spores will be present. So this is the correct one. Then option B, sporogonium of Rixia is differentiated into food seta and capsule. So this is not a correct statement because the sporogonium of Rixia is not differentiated into food seta and capsule. Clear. Then the sporogonium, option C, sporogonium and spore mother cells of Rixia have chloroplast. Clear, right? This is also a false statement because the Rixia sporophytic structure does not consist of chloroplast. Because of this, they are depend on gametophytic structure. Then option D, none of the above. So the correct statement among the four is option A. That is, no diploid structure is found in mature sporogonium of Rixia. Then the 18th question is, sporangia bearing leaf in fern is called. So what is the meaning of sporangia? Why it is meant for? So sporangia, they are the unique structure. They are formed on the undersurface of leaf. So the function of sporangia is it will form spore. So spore bearing structures are known as sporangia. So if you look into the undersurface of leaf in fern, you can see the aggregation of sporangia. So many sporangias are aggregated. So that aggregation is called as sori. So because the leaf consists of a mass of sporangia, the kind of leaf is called as sporophyll. So spore bearing structure, sporo is nothing but spores, phyll is nothing but leaf. So the spore bearing structure, sporangia bearing structure in the fern is called as sporophyll. So let us look into the option. Option A, sorus. So sorus is nothing but a single sporangium, a single spore bearing structure is called as sorus. Clear. Then option B, indusium. So indusium is a tissue, a kind of tissue. It will cover the sorus in the developmental stage. That means it will completely covers the developing spores in the sporangia. So it is a kind of tissue. Then option C, ramentum. So ramentum is not a spore bearing structure. It is not a aggregation of leaves in the fern. Then option D, sporophyll. So the correct one is option D. Then the 19th question is, which of the following is the chief characteristic of a fern leaf? So ferns are the pteridophytes, right? So in the ferns, the leaf is called as frond. So you can see the green color leaf will be present in the fern, and that leaf will be called as frond. So when the leaf is young in condition, that will show curling. That means it is get infolded. So that curled leaf in the fern is called as circinate vernation. So this is unique character can be seen in fern. And on the surface of stem or the petiole, we can see the presence of brown scale. So that scale is called as ramenta. So these two unique characters we can see in fern leaf. So let us look into the option. Option A, it is simple. Then option B, it has ramenta. So ramenta is a brown scaly structure. It can be seen on the surface of petiole or stem. So we have this structure in the fern. Clear. So let us move to the option C. It has microphyllus. So microphyllus is not present in fern. So microphyllus is nothing but a single unbranched vein. What is there in the leaf? This kind of leaf is not there in fern. Then option D, it has ramenta and circinate vernation when young. So this is correct, right? Because both these characters we can see in fern. Ramenta also present, and it will also show circinate vernation when the leaves are young in condition. So the option is option D. The next question is, isogamous condition with non-flagellated gametes is found in. So here you have to understand the meaning of isogamous. So gametes, when they are similar in their appearance, they are called as isogamous. So isogamous condition with non-flagellated gametes is found in which of the following organism? So let us see the option A, Spirogyra. So Spirogyra is a green alga. So when it is producing the gametes, it will produce the same kinds of gametes, and they does not consist of locomotory organelle. That means non-flagellated gametes will be formed. So this is the correct one. So isogamous, that means same kinds of gametes, and non-flagellated gametes will be formed in Spirogyra. Then let us look into the option B, Olvox. So Olvox is a kind of green alga. It will be reproduces by sexual method by oogamous type. So oogamous type of reproduction can be seen in Olvox. That means the female reproductive gametes will be bigger in size and male reproductive gametes will be smaller in size. They are not isogamous. Then option C, Fucus. So Fucus also shows oogamous type of sexual reproduction. Then option D, Chlamydomonas. So Chlamydomonas will form isogametes, but they are flagellated. They are not non-flagellated. So the correct one is option A. Yes, the next question is the development of sporophyte from a moss gametophyte without sexual fusion is called. So here you can see in the bryophytes, the main plant body is a gametophytic plant. Clear, right? So from the gametophytic plant, the sporophytic plant will develop. So when this structure will develops, it will develop without any sexual fusion. So when the process is like this, we are calling it as a apogamy. So apogamy is nothing but without any sexual fusion from the gametophytic plant, the sporophytic plant body will develops. Clear, right? So let us look into the option. First option, option A, apomixis. So what is the meaning of apomixis? So we can see in some of the plants, higher plants like angiosperms, the seed formation will be takes place, but without the fusion of male and female gamete. Clear, right? So when without the fusion of male gamete, the seed is formed, that is called as apomixis. Clear. Then option B, apospory. So apospory is the formation of gametophytic structure from sporophyte. This is reverse of the apogamy. Clear, right? So here the gametophytic structure is forming from the sporophyte without any meiotic division. This condition can also see in the higher plants like angiosperms. Then option C, apogamy. As I told, the apogamy is nothing but the formation of sporophyte from the gametophyte without any sexual fusion. Then option D, amphimixis. So meaning of amphimixis is the fusion of two different gametes, male and female gametes, to form zygote. Clear, right? So I will repeat it again. Option D, amphimixis is nothing but formation of zygote by the fusion of male and female gamete. Then option C, apogamy is nothing but formation of sporophyte from gametophytic plant without any sexual fusion. Then apogamy is nothing but the formation of gametophyte from sporophyte without any meiotic division. Then option A, apomixis is nothing but seed formation without fertilization. So the correct one is option C. Then the next question is fusion of gametes which are dissimilar in size is termed as. So usually when the algae are ready to reproduce by sexual method, they will produce as gametes. So different kinds of species in the algae produces different kinds of gametes. So some of the algae, they will produce the same kinds of gametes during the sexual reproduction. So when the same kind of gametes they fuse together, that kind of fusion is called as isogamous. Clear. And there are some algae we have, they will produce as dissimilar sized gametes. Clear. Maybe one is motile, one may be non-motile, and male gamete may be small and female gamete may be bigger. So when this kind of dissimilar sized gametes they fuse together, that kind of fusion is called as anisogamous. And one more category of algae we have. So those algae will be produced as bigger female gamete, that is non-motile, and small male gamete, that is motile in nature. So when the fusion occurs between the non-motile female gamete and motile male gamete, that kind of fusion is called as oogamous. So these are the three different types of fusion can be seen in the algal gametes. Clear. So among the three, when the two dissimilar sized gametes they fuse together, that kind of fusion of gamete is called as anisogamous. So the correct one is option C. Then what is mean by agamous? So agamous is nothing but without the gamete fusion. Clear, right? But in the question they have asked the fusion of gametes when they are in dissimilar size. So the correct one is option C, anisogamous. The next one, in bryophytes, male and female sex organs are called. Option A, microsporangia and macrosporangia. So microsporangia is the sporangia that produces microspores. That means that will store the microspores. And macrosporangia is the sporangia that will stores macrospores. So these kind of structures, sporangias, are not present in bryophytes. Then option B, male strobili and female strobili. So male and female strobili, they are the reproductive structures found in gymnosperms. Clear, not in the bryophytes. Then option C, Antheridia and Archegonia. So Antheridia is a male sex organ in the bryophytes and Archegonium is a female sex organ in bryophytes. So this is the correct one. Then option D, Andrecium and Gynoecium. So Andrecium and Gynoecium we can see in angiosperms, not in bryophytes. So the correct appropriate answer is option C, Antheridia and Archegonia. Next question is, which of the following is heterosporous? So what is the meaning of heterosporous? Hetero means different, sporous is nothing but spore formation. So there are some plants we have, example seed bearing plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms, they are showing heterosporous nature. And some of the higher ferns, that means advanced ferns, they are also having this character. Clear, right? So in the heterosporous plant, so two types of spores will form. So microspores and megaspores. So microspores will form separate gametophyte, that is called as male gametophyte, and megaspores will responsible for the formation of female gametophyte. Clear, right? So among the following option we have to select which plant is showing this kind of nature. The first one is Dryopteris. So Dryopteris is a pteridophyte. It is a primitive type of pteridophytes. This is showing the formation of similar type of spores. That means homosporous condition can be seen in Dryopteris. Then option B, Salvinia. So Salvinia is one of the advanced group of pteridophytes. So they will form two different kinds of spores, microspores and megaspores. Then option C, Adiantum. So Adiantum is showing homosporous formation. Then D, Equisetum. Equisetum is also a pteridophyte. It is showing the homosporous nature. So among the four options, the correct one is option B, Salvinia, because it is an advanced pteridophyte. It is showing heterosporous nature. Then one more example we have in the pteridophyte, that is Selaginella. So Selaginella is also showing heterosporous condition.